Nataka kukupeleka katika bunge ambapo kuna kikao kinachoendelea, kamati ya bunge ikiwa inamhoji waziri wa kilimo Mwangi Kiunjuri kuhusiana na uagizaji wa mahindi. Pia wanazungumzia masuala ya maziwa. Hebu tusikize.
And therefore, anybody who is trying to say that Kenyans consume 1.5 million of bag of maize in a month is totally misleading Kenyans.
It is actually 1.5 to 1.7 million bags for milling.
Yes. For milling.
Only for milling.
Mr. Chairman,
nobody is talking about the total consumption. Yeah.
For milling, Mr. Chairman, milling in this country, the millers mill 2.5 million bags of maize per month to 3 million bags per month. What happens, the discrepancy of the 500, is that maize also competes with other commodities. It competes with rice, competes with wheat, competes with other crops, potatoes, and the rest. And therefore, when the prices of maize are high, consumers tend to move to other commodities. And therefore,
so just repeat the millers. In your view, how much?
It is between 2.5 million to 3 million bags. That is the normal. And this one, Mr. Chairman, you can call Cereal Millers Association, and all those associations, they are there. About 20 of them, you can call them here to verify this information. These are statements of fact, Mr. Chairman, that cannot be disputed.
Okay, we will give you the benefit of doubt there, but the 1.5 to 1.7 million for milling also came from your ministry.
No.
So your figures are not talking to each other.
I think the reason why I've raised a point of order is because the minister will be misleading this committee to tell us that we need to talk to the Association of Millers. I think government is an institution which can use many other avenues to get information. You cannot go to the same cartels to tell us what they mill. They will be lying because they want to import. They are the reason why there is a artificial shortage in the first place. And if you are, and I think, Chair, it is good for the minister to inform us from the ministry. Where does he get information on these issues, especially on the shortage? Because there must be a department which is advising you. There must be a department. Because if you are getting this information from the Association of Millers, those are the cartels. It is very unfortunate.
Allow the CS please to answer.
And before he answers that, I want to add something very important, because I met Cereal Growers Association that they claim they've really been frustrated by the Ministry of Agriculture. If they are communicating with the ministers, with the cereal millers team, and not communicating with the cereal growers team, then they are the ones who are destroying farmers in Kenya. And that's why the minister needs to be very clear. If he's getting advice from the chairman of Millers Association, does he get any advice from the chairman of Growers Association?
Okay. The chairman, we get our information. We talk to all these people. For you to comprehensively have a data, you need to talk to everybody in the industry. And that information is there. It depends on how you want to interrogate your case. And therefore, Mr. Chairman, my position is very clear. We have the data, and we have all the information. About strategic food reserve, Mr. Chairman, it's good that we go through the mandate of SFR. They are a FAD manager. It's not even a parastatal. It's a FAD manager. And this FAD manager gets advice from us. They do not have any staff. I should be able to, and you take this seriously, they even do not have enough staff. Or what they have, because they are a FAD, the chairman protect me. I need your protection. It is a FAD, and therefore they have the board and the secretariat and full stop. Any other information, they get information from the Ministry of Agriculture. And the chairman purporting that he has information, Mr. Chairman, first of all, that amount to insubordination. Number two is that he cannot pretend to have any information, because all the information he has comes from the ministry. Now he has misled this committee, he has misled the whole country that he has information.
He hasn't misled us.
Okay, he has misled the country.
He has not appeared before us.
Okay, he has misled the country that he has that mandate. So, Mr. Chairman, on the issue of importation, again, I have no information of who is importing what and which ship is doing what in the high seas. And number two, Mr. Chairman, I'm seated in a ministry and I know full consequences of what would happen if I do the wrong thing. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of commodity house, what I know about our pending bills is that we have pending bills of mirrors. Since 2017, we owe mirrors 2.6 billion. We owe commodity FAD 3.6 billion. We owe ETG 488 million, and we owe dolphins 61 million. The directive of the President is that all pending bills be paid. And that instruction is to all the ministries where there are resources. On the issue of our SFR FAD, they have about 4 billion that are not spent. And the issue of payment is that they should pay the traders and other people they owe money. On issue of who pays them, that is the responsibility of the accounting officer, the CFOs, and the FAD managers. So that one, the minister cannot answer of who is being paid and for what. All what we do is clearance. We know that there are pending bills that are audited, and those ones that are not questionable should be paid. And that is the instruction of the President, that any pending bill that has no question, properly audited, pay them. That instruction is there, a circular issued by the government for the payments to be done. So if commodity FAD has been paid 1.8 billion, the way they have been paid, that should be answered by the accounting officers. If there are irregularities, it is the SFR to raise, that is true. They should raise it on whether they are paid irregularly or they have pending bills, whether those pending bills are real, that can be answered by the accounting officers.
What actually raises the eyebrow is that Commodity House was paid alone out of those whose bills were pending from 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
despite the fact that probably you said they have the highest 3.6 billion, but there are obviously others, smaller ones.
They are there, Mr. Chairman.
Who actually probably needed that money more.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the instruction is very clear. They all be paid. What had been decided is that an SFR FAD manager, when the secretariat was there, is that of the monies that we had, it was agreed that commodity FAD be paid 1.8 billion because we owe them 3.6 billion.
Commodity House,
yeah.
Yes.
To be paid 1.8 billion of the 3.6 billion. ETG is supposed to be paid 400 million out of the 488 million. And this young person, Dolphins, to be paid the full amount, 61 billion. He has been camping the ministry for the last 1 year to be paid 61 million. Adjustment was made later before the two FADs were paid because we realized that also National Cereals and Produce Board required some FAD to meet the obligations. And therefore we scaled down, whereby now ETG to be paid 300 million and Dolphins to be paid their full amount. The rest of the monies will be paid this year. Of the mirrors, we have not paid them, and we have factored it in this year, financial year. So the question on whether, what I can answer here, whether we owe Commodity House money, yes, we owe them 3.6 billion Kenya shillings, audited. We owe ETG 488 million, audited. We owe Dovis 61 million, audited. And we owe mirrors 2.6 billion, audited. However, Mr. Chairman, the issue of pending bills have been there. Who to be paid and whom to be not to be paid, the government clears them. How they are paid is another story.
From where did you find the 1.8 billion to pay Commodity House? Because we never factored that in the budget.
Mr. Chairman,
and there was no such request.
The issue of our money, when you have our monies, is about the allocation from Treasury. And this one, authority is sought from Treasury on how funds, because we have the money in the ministry. This is from the 4 billion allocated for paying maize farmers. We paid only about 801 million, 1 billion, and the remaining 3 billion, we we agreed that is Treasury decided that all pending bills be cleared before the close of the year. That is what has been happening. And therefore, all clearances have been sought. The only issue I'm not very clear about the letter is whether the accounting officer has interacted with the SFR on the issues now of release of the funds. That I cannot answer. But on whether the pending bills are there, yes, they are there. Are they audited? Yes, they have been audited. Do they qualify to be paid? Yes, they qualify to be paid. Procedure, somebody else should answer.
No, what is very clear from